All right, guys, what's up? We're talking a lot of Big Ten football today, and I'm going to break down another Big Ten West team, the Illinois Fighting Illini out of Champaign, Illinois. Bret Beilema now in year 4 with Luke Altmaier as a quarterback there, a team that has brought a lot of, solid defensive backs to the NFL. Witherspoon, who plays at Seattle Seahawks, he even had a really good year in the professional ranks. Sidney Brown was a stud at Illinois. And Illinois' coaching staff, I really like, Grant Morgan is a guy who played under Bret Beilema. He's an Arkansas graduate. He won the Burlsworth Award for the best walk-on in college football in the year, I want to say 2018. So, Grant Morgan is still a part of this staff. You have Barry Lunny, who was at UTSA with Jeff Traylor, who I believe is still the offensive coordinator at Illinois. And now it's the second year for their defensive coordinator because Ryan Walters went to Purdue to be a head guy. And that was a huge loss for Bret Beilema. But, this year, I like the wide receivers that they have on this football team. Again, I think that the staff is excellent. I think that Illinois is underrated on the national scale. I think that they're overlooked. So let's look at Illinois. Let's look at the coaches. Let's break down, some of the guys here that I alluded to earlier. We have Barry Lunny. Aaron Henry is the defensive coordinator. Aaron Henry was, I believe, at South Florida before he ended up coming up to Champaign. And we have Justin Stepp. Phenomenal. Great wide receiver coach. Was responsible for Treylon Burks, was able to recruit really well at South Carolina. Shi Smith, ended up being an NFL player. Again, who did you have at South Carolina? Xavier Legette was at South Carolina. So I like this team. And then we have Arthur Sitkowski, Grant Morgan, Dana Dimel, the UNLV former coach Dana Dimel, who's at UTEP for forever, 31 seasons at UTEP. All right, Arthur Sitkowski. This is a whole freaking elite staff. Byron Bell, I believe that's an interesting name. Let's see, Byron Bell. Eight-year NFL career, Byron Bell. So, again, I love the staff. Love it. Do I like the staff or do I love the staff? I think the staff's amazing. I think Stepp is fantastic. Grant Morgan, Barry Lunny. This staff is fun as all get out. Let's look now at the football players that will be playing on the field. I think that is a very important component. I know we got Altmaier from Hattiesburg, who played at Ole Miss there for a little while. Zachary Franklin, a transfer receiver. Pat Bryant, a senior wide receiver. Malik Eltsey, Tyson Rooks. So a lot of newcomers here. At receiver, Mario Sanders, another transfer. On the offensive line, 2 transfers. And then a quarterback, you have Ken Fegan. You have an all right running back group. Hopefully can get more explosive in the running game. All right, defensively, again, second year with Henry, so we have a lot of returners that I like. I like that we have Dylan Rosak in the middle of this defense with Seth Coleman. I like that we have Matthew Bailey and Scott Miles, Taylor Strain, Xavier Scott, backloaded with some pretty experienced players. So defensively, I think that I think that that's going to be the calling card of Bert and of Illinois. So I happen to like this team and this defense that's going to be, trekking out on the field. So now let's break down, what we got with our schedule. So we play Kansas. Illinois plays Kansas. That's going to be a phenomenal game. That's a 7:00 kick on September 7th. That's a great old rivalry game. Two teams that I believe played in the Big 12, I want to say. So that's going to be very, very interesting, level of football there. We have Lance Leipold taking the talents, all right, to not Lawrence, but Champaign, Illinois. All righty, guys. So we're still, I'm still getting the schedule here uploaded. All right. So going back now to the Illinois schedule. Central Illinois, and then Nebraska on the road. Nebraska could be tough. Penn State. But then we get Purdue at home. Going to win that game. Michigan, and then, at Oregon. Really tough. But then Michigan State, Northwestern, Rutgers, and Minnesota. So the schedule is not brutal. It should be about a 6.5 win total on Illinois on that schedule. Okay, so let me look at the win totals now for the Illini. Over 5.5. And you're getting a spice there. So why can't Illinois beat Eastern? Why can't they beat Kansas? Why can't they beat Central Michigan? Why can't they beat Purdue? So they got to win 6 to satisfy that. They could start 3-0. So then you need 3 more games, and then you get Purdue, Michigan State, at Northwestern, or like at Rutgers. It's going to be tough. Again, probably you see like a 7-5. Because you got Minnesota coming in there. You also got Penn State. You got Oregon. So, again, like a lot of these Big Ten West schedules are really, really tough because you're also going to be stacked with a great, great team. And, Oregon's going to be a dead loss. And then offensively, like with Luke Altmaier, are you going to be good enough offensively? And then a lot of those games are going to be toss-ups. So you're going to see a lot of teams, a lot of great coaches, staffs. They're going to go 6-6 or 7-5. You're going to see a lot of teams do that in this league. So a lot of teams that are fighting in the 7-5s, the 8-4s, and the 6-6, and then you're going to have pretty much Ohio State, Oregon up here, and then you're going to have like Penn State and Michigan and USC right in that second tier, and then it's everybody else who's going to be yearning for that, number 6 spot, whether that be like Nebraska, whether that be Iowa, whether that be Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois. Like all these teams are going to be vying then for that spot. As we look here at the Big Ten. I think defensively they got to be good. That's kind of their calling card. I wish that they had a really explosive back. It's going to be important for them to shut down Kansas's offense. In that Week 2 game, we're going to learn a lot about Illinois. Kansas is going to be a pretty big favorite coming in there, probably about a 5-point favorite. Champaign's going to have to put on their best effort. That's fans included if they're going to go out there and have a great chance to win that game. And then who could they knock off a Penn State? We're going to have to see. But other than that, like they play Oregon, they play Penn State. They get, unfortunately for Illinois, Kansas is a pretty good out of conference. Central Michigan is not terrible. But they tried to make it kind of an easier out-of-conference slate to try to get 3 wins. And then going to Rutgers might be harder this year if Rutgers is a really good team. You get Michigan State at home. You didn't beat Michigan State, I believe, last year. So, and then Nebraska on the road. Again, where Nebraska's probably going to be favored to beat them. So are they going to get to 6? Are they going to get to 7? A lot of toss-ups in this season, but I love the coaching staff. I love the assistant staff. The defense I'm really starting to like. Another year of quarterback Luke Altmaier. Could be a solid team that I would probably lean a slight over to in the win total. Probably a slight over 6.5 or 5.5 for the Illinois Illini. And it's going to be fun to see what Bert can do, with an even tougher schedule now in the Big Ten West, where you have Oregon and you have all these teams. You have some out-of-conference games that they are going to have to deal with now in the Big Ten Conference. But we'll see. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching.